Is it filming? Hello? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be explaining what being zero waste means and how you can reduce your waste. This video is going to be slightly long, so I'm going to show you where I start each section in case you want to skip ahead. Before we start, I just want to reiterate that I'm not 100% zero waste, but I try to choose less wasteful options when I can. I continue to try and choose better options when I can, and I hope that one day I'll be more zero waste than I am now. But keeping that in mind, being zero waste doesn't necessarily mean producing no waste at all. It's about reducing your waste in a way that's sustainable for you in your life. So before I show you the ways in which you can reduce your waste, let's first explain what being zero waste means. Think about everything you've ever thrown away in the rubbish. If it's plastic, it's probably still on this planet. Even paper, which is recyclable, often doesn't get recycled. Think of it this way. Everything that you throw out of your house must end up somewhere. Just because it leaves your house doesn't mean it's disappeared. A lot of waste ends up in landfills or in oceans. Some countries even send them abroad when they can't handle it. The UK in the past have sent their rubbish abroad to Turkey, Malaysia, and even China. But why should we aim to be more zero waste? Being zero waste is one of the many ways we can reduce our carbon footprint. Not only will you consume less products, but you will also send less waste out that contributes to land, water, and air pollution. Now that we've explained what being zero waste means, let's talk about how we can be more zero waste. When first trying to be more zero waste, it's important to know what waste you already produce. The next time you take your rubbish out, have a look at what waste you're producing. If you have a lot of food waste, you might want to try and reduce how much food you buy or eat more leftovers. But if you have a lot of plastic waste, you might want to opt for less packaged foods. Understand what you're throwing out so you can reduce it. Once you know what you want to change, start by making simple swaps. Take one thing in your daily life and swap it out for its reusable alternative. This may be using a reusable water bottle, using a reusable coffee cup, or swapping to a reusable period product. The next thing you want to try and do is reduce your consumption. By reducing what you bring into your home, you can reduce what leaves your home. So this can be applied to clothing, makeup products, and other things that are not considered basic necessities like food. Now, of course, this is going to be really hard if you've grown up, like a lot of us have, getting used to going shopping as a way to treat yourself. But like I'll talk about later in this video, you can still go shopping being zero waste. Now, finally, remember, when making changes in your lifestyle, you should set yourself realistic goals. Don't overestimate how much you can give up in one go, because you'll be setting yourself up for failure. It's best to do what works for you in your life and do it slow. By giving up one thing at a time, you're letting yourself get comfortable with the changes you're making before introducing new changes. To make sustainable changes, you need to choose what is best for you given your situation. For example, if you need to drive miles and miles to access the closest zero waste shop, you need to question if that's really worth your time. Choose what you can work with that isn't too inconvenient to change. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you ways in which you can choose to be more zero waste in different aspects of your life. First, let's talk food and kitchen. The first and most important thing you can do to reduce your waste is to bring your own shopping bag. Plastic bags are amongst the most polluting items in the world. A lot of them end up in oceans where they harm our wildlife. So if there's one thing you take away from this video, is to stop using plastic bags. The next thing you can do is carry around a reusable water bottle. Plastic bottles with plastic bags are again amongst the most polluting items in the world. In countries like the UK or the US, most bottled water actually is just tap water. If you're in a country where you really can't drink the tap water and have to buy bottled water, then buy them in larger bottles so you have less waste. Next, try choosing loose items when you shop. Depending on where you are, this may be really difficult because a lot of supermarkets have fruits and vegetables wrapped in plastic packaging. But there are ways around this. Choose loose items where you pay by the weight and avoid putting them in the plastic bags that they give you in the supermarket. Carry your own produce bags for this. For fruits and vegetables, try shopping at local markets where you can buy them loose anyway. For dry items like pasta, beans, rice, and nuts, you can try shopping at a zero-waste shop if you have access to one. At places like this, you can often bring your own jar to fill it up and pay by the weight. This way, you're not only reducing your plastic packaging, but you're also only buying what you need, so you're reducing your food waste. If you don't have access to a zero-waste store, try choosing dry foods wrapped in paper packaging instead of plastic packaging. This is not the best solution, but it's still better than using plastic packaging. The next thing you can swap is plastic straws for metal and bamboo alternatives. Try and remember to decline straws at restaurants and cafes. For those who have disabilities and need plastic straws to drink, they might not be able to make the swap, but if you can make the swap, then make the swap. There are also silicone alternatives for those who miss the feel of a plastic straw. Now when it comes to ready-made sauces in jars, try opting for those in glass jars. That way you can reuse the glass jars to store nuts and seeds or to make overnight oats and chia seed puddings. Of course, it would be better if you could completely eliminate buying ready-made sauces, but if you don't have the time to make your own sauces, then it's completely understandable to choose buying ready-made. For storing food in your own home, try and avoid using plastic cling wrap. There are lots of reusable options out there. One of the most popular ones now is beeswax wraps. Although I haven't yet tried it, I've heard a lot of good things about it and I hope to try it soon. Whether you're a student who survives on coffee or an adult who stops by a coffee shop every day on their way to work, the one thing you can swap is a reusable coffee cup. Most coffee cups that are single-use have a plastic lining inside of them that make them not recyclable. Swapping to a reusable coffee cup will not only save the environment, but will also save your bank account because most coffee shops offer discounts for if you bring your own coffee cup. In this next section, we're going to talk about toiletries and beauty products. The first thing you can swap to is a bamboo toothbrush. Compared to its plastic alternative, bamboo is biodegradable. Even if the bristles are made out of nylon, comparably you're making a lot less waste. The next thing you can do is ditch your plastic packaged deodorant for bar deodorants. I got this bar from Lush and it's the Aromaco deodorant and it's great because it has antibacterial properties and keeps you smelling fresh all day. And it's also better for the environment in terms of air pollution because you're not releasing harmful chemicals into the air. The next thing you can swap is your liquid soap for a soap bar. Soap bars often last longer than liquid soap because we end up using way more soap than we need. Most of the time, bar soaps will come package-free depending on where you're buying it from. If you're buying it from a supermarket where it's not package-free, try opting for paper packaging rather than plastic packaging. Adding on to that, you can also swap your shampoo and conditioner for shampoo and conditioner bars. I know that there are some from Lush, but now many other places store them too. Personally, I haven't yet found one that are sulfate-free, but a friend of mine, Kat, has swapped to using shampoo and conditioner bars and is loving it. So if you want to ask or know more, feel free to message her on Instagram. Now let's talk makeup. A lot of makeup products still come in plastic packaging and I haven't yet found a way to eliminate plastic packaging from my makeup routine. I've heard of ways that you can make your own beauty products at home, but I haven't yet tried any of them. You can also try and reuse some of the packaging that your products arrive in. For example, with lip balms, you can reuse the lip balm container to make your own lip balm. Okay, now the next one is by far my favorite swap. If you know me, you've probably heard me speak about it. For those of you that will bleed every month, did you know that on average in your lifetime you will dispose of 11,000 period products? Multiply that by everyone that gets their period in the world, and that's a lot of waste. I swapped to using the menstrual cup about 4 months ago and I love it. It looks intimidating, but it's honestly not. If you think the cup isn't for you, there are other alternatives out there. I know of a couple of brands that do period underwear, which I'll link below, and also reusable pads, which again work the same as normal pads, but instead of throwing them away after you're done, you throw them in the wash. These options are not only better for the environment, but they're better for your body too because they don't release any harmful toxins. The next section is going to talk about clothing and fashion. In 2017, 235 million items of clothing were sent to landfill in the UK. And in 2015, it was estimated that 1.2 billion tons of carbon emissions were produced by the fashion industry. So you can see why we need to try and reduce our consumption from fast fashion companies. Because if we reduce how much we consume, they're going to reduce how much they produce. One way to reduce your waste in terms of fashion is to reduce shopping from fast fashion companies. Fast fashion ends up in landfill way faster than you can imagine, because it's cheap to produce and is not made to last. Another way to reduce your emissions in terms of fashion is to buy secondhand. The next thing you can do is attempt to fix what you own before throwing it away. If your favorite top or favorite pair of trousers have a hole in them, try sewing it back up before you throw it away. Even if you only extend its lifespan by only a few months, you're still reducing your impact. And finally, if there are clothes that you no longer need, try donating it to orphanages or charity shops before throwing them away. I just wanted to say one more thing before I end this video. For serious climate action to take place, I know that we need to hold bigger companies responsible for the amount of carbon emissions they produce. But big changes cannot happen without small changes. The changes you make a difference. And the more people make changes, the more these bigger companies will see that we want serious change. Doesn't it? That's a lot of change. So yeah, thank you for watching this video and I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below or contact me on Instagram. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!